So for everybody who is just tuning in, we're going live tonight around our study and reading from U Squared. It is the Quantum Leap Philosophy. Now, my name is Kim Calvert. There are so many people that are brand new into this group. This group grows and multiplies every single week. And I want to say thank you. I want to say hello. And I want to let you know that you're in the best possible group. Okay? Oh my goodness, we've got somebody from the Seychelles. Woo! Well, I'm telling you now, it felt like the Seychelles today and yesterday here in Northern Ireland, where it normally doesn't, sun doesn't come out to visit us all the time, but certainly I think everybody has got a good tan going on and a bit of a burnt nose if you're anything like me. Good, Breeze, you're here as well. Awesome. So, thank you for being a part of this group, first and foremost. It's been a week or 2 weeks or so since I've been live with you guys. As I said, this group keeps growing and growing, and I'm just so grateful for you being here. Now, what is this group all about? Who am I? What do I do? Why should you maybe listen in and start taking notes? Well, simply, as I said, my name's Kim. It's great to have you here. I'm the owner and director of Dynamite Lifestyle, which is a company that is fully designed to help waken people up one thought at a time. All right. I'm a high performance mentor. So I'm an expert in making the best out of people. What a freaking awesome job I have. Didn't always do that. Was a nurse for 9.5 years as a clinical nurse specialist, working in the field of psychiatry with young people. And I made a decision 4.5, nearly 5 years ago now, to leave the 9-to-5, good, stable job with a pension. And at the young age of 28, decided to go out on my own, to go after my dreams, my goals, and that was to really extend my impact on this world and really start to help people think into their results by understanding the incredible power that you already have. So I don't give anybody this magical power. What I simply do is teach individuals how to use the mental tools that you already possess so that you can utilize and tap into that power. All right. If you look at any successful person, whether it's in business, whether it's in sports, whether it's in any industry, the top of the top, where does all that energy, power, success come from? Well, it comes from within. And every top performer will tell you that. Now, if it's from within, how the hell do you get it out? Okay, that is the code of life. That's what everybody's trying to work out. That's why you're here. That's what you're trying to do maybe in business. Be a fuller expansion and expression of yourself. But a lot of people do not live life on their terms. So what I specialize is I help people start to gain clarity in their goals, set goals maybe for the first time, and not only set goals, but understand the scientific creative process to achieving goals. There are big differences between setting goals and achieving goals. I'm sure, like me, because I did it all my life, I set goals, I had great intentions, I really wanted to do it, and then something would happen and it wouldn't ever happen. All right, sometimes then I had loads of ideas. I want to do this and I want to do that, and my head was jumbled. So I can feel what a lot of you may be dealing with at this point in time. We have been going live into this group, sharing a book which I call U Squared. It's by Price Pritchett. If you haven't got this book, it is super cheap. You get it on Amazon, and it is a great introduction to understanding the power that's within you. This is all about multiplying your performance and your effectiveness. And that can be in all areas of your life, okay? That's what I think about, work on, mentor clients every single day of my life. I'm always helping people to bring the best of them to the surface. Because everybody, even all the people that are watching now, even if you're a client, doesn't make you, king of the castle. Every single person that's watching now knows they could do better. Today, even it's only 7 o'clock, but there was probably things in your day today that you could have done better. You just know it, but you don't do it. And that's the missing link. And that's what I am super passionate of, helping people get to the root cause of their results instead of running around treating symptoms. We're working really hard, we're trying new strategies, and we keep coming out with the same results. So this book and what we're talking about in these sessions is how to quantum leap results. How can you skip the rungs of the ladder? How can you go for a big, crazy desire and goal, a burning desire, something you really want? And everybody even here wants something more than what they have. And that even in itself can bring up a lot of different things for different people. Some people feel guilty for wanting more. Some people feel that it's their right to have more and they're angry that they don't. Some people know that they want more and they're in the pursuit of attaining it. We're all different. But the one common thing of all of us is that we all have this incredible infinite power flowing to and through us. It's called consciousness. And you can create anything that you want. And in fact, that's how everything in this world has been created. Ever wonder how we've got the things that we've got? Nobody is flying spaceships into Earth, supplying us with new things. Okay? That's not happening. So how is the world evolving, changing, growing? Like, how did we ever get iPhones? How did we ever get this wireless live contraption? Well, it started off with an idea. It started off in somebody's mind. Everything does. Before this book was written, somebody, Price Pritchard, had to have the thoughts. So that's the ideation. That's the creative process of accumulating ideas. And what I really want to get home to you guys is ideas are wonderful. Wonderful. But they don't pay the bills, okay? So it's the process from taking an idea in its basic form and transmuting it into a physical form. That's what I am very happy to put my hand up and say I'm an expert in. And I've been taught by the world's best, and I'm number one for the world's best. So if you've ever come across Mr. Bob Proctor, we share lots of his videos in this group. He's been on The Secret. He's renowned as being one of the leading thought leaders of this world. He's the last living legend living. He's 86, and in fact, it's his birthday this month, and he's still going. And he teaches the same principles. He teaches the science behind human behavior and performance. Now, we all operate the same, guys, which makes this so exciting. Even you can do this. Everybody can do this. And if I can do the things I've done and that I'm going to go on to do, my goodness, anybody can do it, okay? And I don't say that to put myself down. I'm genuinely serious. Like, I'm no different to you. And I grew up in a very small kind of country. And I went to school and I worked hard and I got exams and I did all the usual stuff, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't coming home with this sense of knowing I'm working on purpose every day. Now, I had a fabulous job, and some of you guys have wonderful jobs. And some of you might even think, I'm really happy where I'm at. But what you've got to realize is where you're at is nowhere compared to where you can be. So the question is, what are you going to do with your time here on this earth? You don't know when it's going to last. You don't know when it's going to end. And you don't need to worry about that stuff. You just need to focus in the now and in the present. Okay? So that's a bit of a summary of who I am. And there's a lot more to that story, I'll tell you now. But I'm sure you will catch up on that on other videos. And, I'll be coming in here sharing my story. The one thing you'll know about me and you'll get to know is I'm very transparent. I'm very honest, and I will tell you how it is, okay? I do not sugarcoat anything for anybody, because that doesn't help you get results. It doesn't help you get the success, the happiness, the fulfillment, the calmness, the clarity, the financial abundance that you want, okay? So let's get started with tonight. Now, we are on episode 7 of this. If you are only tuning in, if you've only joined the group, go binge in the unit section. There's lots of videos under there, but if you're looking this particular season, then this is U squared. It's the quarantine versus quantum leaps, okay? So go back, watch them from the start, take notes, contact us if you want any questions answered. We are always open to helping you. That's the beautiful part about my team. I'm so grateful for my team. I'm so grateful for my clients, and everybody just blends together. Everybody's always helping, and everybody's always here to support you, because do you know what? We're all in it together. None of us are any better than each other. We have different results, and that's just based on your level of awareness. You're only doing what you're doing because it's all you're aware of knowing how to do. Now, you want to do better. I know that for sure. You wouldn't be in this group if you weren't growth orientated. So how do we get you to where you want to be faster, with less work, with less confusion, with calmness, with ease? Like, just imagine every day just working out effortlessly in your favor. Wouldn't that be incredible? And that's exactly how you can live if you understand how to play this game called life. All right, now we have the rule book, we understand it, we've helped hundreds and thousands of people start to live life on their terms, by their design, and you can absolutely jump in on this too, because you're doing it whether you realize it or not. Everything in your life you are attracting. You're attracting the ideas, you're attracting people, you're attracting problems, you're attracting bills, everything that comes into your life, whether you deem it negative or positive. That means it's been active in your vibration. Now, what does that mean? Well, it just means it's active in your energy. The energy you're putting out into the world every day, which you do just by even being here. I'm giving you energy right now. And then you're picking that energy up and translating it into your thinking mechanism, and you might do something with it and you might not. Either way, I am transmuting energy over to you through this device. So the energy exchange is how everything's created. And the beautiful thing is you have a mind that allows you to decide what you're going to change energy into. Now that can sound kind of a bit woohoo and a bit weird. I am not one of those people that just wants to get you positive and motivated and vision boards, because I'm sure you've done all of that, you've done the affirmations, and you may still feel stuck. And that's because you haven't got to a very deep subconscious level. Maybe you've been studying this material for longer than I've been born. I don't know, I'm 33. But what we found, and what I see all the time, and I can totally be a victim of this myself, is knowing something, being able to recite this book or understand the laws of the universe, is just one little tiny part of it. Okay, I don't care if you can recite Think and Grow Rich backwards. If you don't know how to apply what you're learning, you won't get the end result. All right? So think about that. Or you might know this. You might be sitting listening to me going, yeah, no, I get this. I know. Yeah, totally. But what are you doing? What are you doing with the information? That's where I step in with people and go, right, let's take what you know and let's integrate it with your belief system and your behavior. Then you will get change on the outward. All right? It's a very exciting process. When you start to learn this, you'll be addicted to it like me, like all my clients, because it works for any goal, every time, for as long as you want to do it. So it's wonderful. All right? So today we're talking about think beyond what common sense would allow. So this is on page 13. If you have your U Squared book, you might want to grab it. If you don't, just listen in. Don't panic, don't worry. Go order one and then catch up on the unit section of all the other previous lives. So what is tonight's session all about? Well, it's about multiplying your performance. It's about deciding that you're sick and tired of just going to the next milestone. Have you ever, set goals and you achieve them and suddenly it's like, oh, that wasn't that very exciting? Has anyone ever felt that? You've went for a goal, you've hit it, and you're waiting on the fireworks going off and everything changing in your life, and it's just really another day. Has anyone ever experienced that? I'm sure there is. Excellent. Okay, so why is that happening to people? And in fact, this is why most people don't set goals, because it's not even that much of a deal. Now, the reason is that I find is most people don't know how to set the right goals for a start. Now, I'm not here to talk about goals tonight, but that could be your first inkling to where you're maybe getting stuck. And by the way, when I say stuck, I'm not being this big mean person presuming that you're stuck in a terrible place in life. I believe everybody's stuck. I believe the most successful person in this planet is stuck. Why? Because you're not where you also could be. There's an infinite amount of opportunity and ability within you. So don't see stuck as a bad thing. Just about changing your perspective. If you're stuck, then you also know that there's another place of growth. So most people set small goals, they hit them, but there's no growth attached. It didn't stretch that person very much. And that's what starts to slow down your momentum, because what you've got to realize is you are made of energy, okay? If we were to take a cell of yours and put it under a microscope, it would be moving, okay? Everything is moving. It just looks solid, all right? But you're made of energy. That's why we consume energy. We expand energy. Moods going up and down is energy shifting. So what we want to really help you understand is how can you open up your energy and be a really good receiver, okay? You're kind of like a radio station. You're giving out signals and you're receiving signals, okay? You're automatically giving out signals and energy due to what you believe and what you habitually think and do. And then you're receiving energy back, and that you do that through your intuition. You know, when you just get a hunch about something, or you just, boom, there's an idea. Well, you received the idea. Now, if we could open you up and really get your energy flowing and remove maybe some blocks, maybe it's some beliefs, maybe it's some self-confidence, maybe it's around money, maybe it's about your ability, maybe it's about others. There could be so many different things. There's a certain amount of beliefs that are going to be clogging the pipe, right? Then there's going to be a certain amount of habits that keep slowing you down. Maybe you procrastinate, okay? Maybe you continuously do something that you know you shouldn't do, but you're kind of stuck in a negative habit. Well, when we now combine these blockages from beliefs and blockages in just daily habits of getting stuff done, you are zapping your energy. So your output, your performance is going to be down-regulated because you're just not putting the right energy out. And then this leads us to a very common problem. We look at our results and we go, not where I want to be. Oh, I know I must do more. So then we go down a little thought, pathway of, I got to do more. I got to work harder. I got to get an extra job. I've got to stay up later. I've got to, whatever it is that you think that you need to do, we automatically think to get more, we need to do more. And what we teach and what we have discovered, and thank goodness I discovered it, not me as in I pioneered this, I just became aware of this through getting a mentor and learning how to change my results. But I woke up, I started to realize it doesn't have to be that way. I don't have to let my results influence how I think and how I feel. Because when a negative result affects what you think and affects what you feel, it affects what you do. And that usually is more of the same. And more of the same isn't getting you a better result. Now, I know you can relate to that. You've tried to work harder. You've tried to do more. But it's not coming out. The equation is not working out. So why? It's got nothing to do with what you do. It's got nothing to do with websites. I have spoke to so many people over this last week who have come to join us in Thinking into Results, and they are totally thinking, I need to get online, I need a website. And I'm going, whoa. Wait a minute. Firstly, you don't need a website. Websites are so out of date. Okay, when's the last time you went to a website? Okay, don't fall into that trap. You're not fully aware of what you need because you're maybe not mixing with the right types of people who are online making it happen. And also, the website, you could get a good website, but it's nothing to do with the website. It's got to do with your energy that is fueling the website. So if your energy and your mindset never changes, anything you do is just going to usually give you the same outcome, okay? And that causes frustration. It causes confusion. It causes marriages to break up. It causes people to go into debt. It causes so much havoc in your life. And if you're anything like me, what you really truly desire is to figure out who you are, live being the best version of you, have a healthy body, have a loving relationship with others or with your spouse or partner, and you want to be financially free. You don't want to have to think about what you're going to have to do to earn the money, how long you're going to have to save. You don't want to think that. You want to just go and do the stuff and have the money to do the stuff. Yeah? So why not do that? Well, we automatically think, oh, well, that's not possible. It doesn't work like that, Kim. Well, that's what I thought, and then I realized it actually does work like that. So I'm going to read a little part of this. So we're going through I'm calling it episode 7. I have no idea what chapter it is, but it's called Think Beyond What Common Sense Would Allow. And can I just point out how long my hair is? I'm trying to make it styled, but I think it's beyond repair at this point. So big up to everybody with the dodgy haircuts. It won't stop me coming and speaking to you. Okay, so let's get into this and what Price Pritchard. Now, Price Pritchard, if you're wondering who the hell he is a phenomenal guy. He's from Canada, huge into understanding human performance and behavior, and has lots of letters after his name. And he wrote this book to really get people to understand. It's got nothing to do with what you do. It's got to do with the energy that you're doing things with. And we don't have to take incremental steps. We can go for quantum leaps, okay? Now, if you're wondering what a quantum leap is, go back to episode, I think, 2, where I'm really explaining that. But basically, it's an explosive jump in your results. So let's say you, on average, always earn the same amount of money every month, every year. And if you look back at the last 5 years, you will notice there's no, massive spikes. It's always usually the same, okay? What we teach and what we can help you do is totally radically shift that. But it's not by some weird scheme. It's not by, taking a red pill and just magically. There's no getting rich quick thing. That does not exist, okay? But what can happen is if you get to the root cause of what causes results, which is your mindset, and you focus there at the primary source, the cause of the effect, and that's a law, it's all in quantum physics, then you're going to change your mindset, upregulate that, and if you think different thoughts, you're going to do different things, okay? So this is what it's all about. It's about getting to the core of what is driving your behavior, all right? So what does it say? It says most of us can be found flying too close to the ground. Too often we don't give ourselves permission to soar. It's time to start focusing on possibilities rather than on limits and on obstacles. Making a quantum leap means moving outside your mental boundaries. And if you will rethink how you've been thinking, you can multiply your performance potential. You must let your desires guide you instead of allowing yourself to be boxed in by perceived constraints. So already so much in that first paragraph. And the question I would firstly ask you is, do you think in possibilities? Do you give yourself permission to do that? And do you do it on a regular basis? Or when's the last time you daydreamed? When's the last time you just lay back and just dreamed of, if I won the lottery? It's like that game, if you've ever played that with your friends and family, what would you do? And that game is really easy to get your mind to open because you don't really expect to win the lottery. You don't resist that thought because it's a bit of a, oh yeah, that would be lovely. So what happens when somebody asks you that question, you don't really believe it's going to happen, which means you don't have any resistance to the thought, and suddenly you've spent the money 50 times over, okay? But then when I maybe speak to you and I say, okay, what would you love to earn every year or every month? And what would you do with the money? A lot of people get really stumped. And they go, well, and the next answer is, well, sure, I don't really need that much. Okay, we start to limit. We start to go, I just maybe need to do parts of the house up. Now, if I said you won the lottery, you'd probably buy a new house. So it's the same amount of money, but you've took two different perceptions. Why? Because the lottery is a joke. You don't really believe it. There's no resistance of the thought, and your ideas go wild. When I ask you, or maybe it's not even me, somebody else says, what would you do if you earned? You automatically kind of disregard it, because you're kind of like, nobody's ever going to pay me that. And then when you maybe start to think about it, you tend to go, well, and sometimes you don't even know what you'd spend the money on. And that's a big critical part when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to attracting riches into your life. You're attracting the money that you're earning. Every single person on here live is attracting exactly in direct ratio to your level of conscious awareness. Okay? Like when I was a nurse, I was aware of how to earn $35,000 a year. Okay? I became aware of it. I wasn't aware of it when I was a teenager. I wasn't aware of it when I was 3, but I was aware of it at a stage in my life because I went and studied it, I applied for it, blah, blah, blah. So that I became consciously aware of how to do it. But I wasn't consciously aware of how to do that in a day. Earn what I would earn in a year in a day. Like that would never, I wouldn't even be like, what? Wise up. So I wouldn't even entertain the thought. Now, if you're not even entertaining the thoughts, you're not giving power and energy to what you want to create. And maybe what you might say is all the things, like you might say, I want to pay off debt. And that's not a great goal, because if you're thinking about debt, you're thinking in a negative way, okay? Debt doesn't make anybody happy. Doesn't make anybody jump up and down, okay? I'm not saying it's the worst negative thing and it's going to put you in a real bad depressive state. It's not going to do that. But when you talk about maybe debt that you have, it's not a happy, joyous feeling. It's a, I need to get that paid. So it's more of a negative energy going out. Now, by the law of cause and effect, go and look up these laws, Newton's cradle. Any energy that goes this way is going to come back in direct ratio proportion this way. So what I put out is what I get back. You could call it karma. You could call it the law of harvest. Everything we sow, that must we also reap. So everything we put out, we get back. Okay? That's really important that you understand that. So if I'm not putting out energy thinking about what I want to create, it's not going, the ideas are not going to come back to me. And most people go, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to turn my annual into a monthly. And I'm going, I totally believe you. Okay? I don't doubt you. But why you don't know is because you keep saying, I don't know. And when you're saying, I don't know, is that a negative or is that a positive? It's a negative. So you're never going to go, flip, I don't know what I want to do and feel rubbish and then suddenly get this light bulb moment of, da, this is your life purpose. It ain't going to happen. Those two things, the answer and the question, live on different frequencies. Okay? Frequencies is what we think on. Energy is thoughts, and energy works on frequency waves. So if I ask a question, the answer is not going to be on the same little road as the question. It's on a different road. That's why I don't know the answer. Okay? Same as every problem has a solution, but the problem is on a different frequency to the solution. Okay? So you got to start to understand how the mind works. Now what he's saying here is, we've got to start focusing on possibilities, because anything you give energy to expands. Okay? It's a fundamental law of the universe. Anything you give energy to expands. If I go out into my garden and I water the plants, they're going to grow. Why? I'm giving them energy. They're going to get energy from the sun, they grow. I've been planting lots of flowers. It turns out I'm quite the gardener. And I've been planting all these seeds for the last kind of 8 weeks, not that I'm counting. And it amazes me that you put these tiny little itty bitty seeds that you can barely put in the tip of your finger, and then suddenly it's a tomato plant. I mean, if you can't understand that that's the laws of the universe that is doing that, then I don't know how to convince you. Okay? That is energy moving from one form into another. Same with the clouds. There was a little bit of rain today. That was transmutation of energy. The clouds were white, sometimes there was no clouds, then suddenly where do the clouds come from? It's energy moving into different forms. Firstly, it turns into the cloud, then it starts to move into water, then the water drops in the ground, it seeps in, it goes into the plants, it comes out again. Everything is working like that. Now, you work like that. So you can start to decide what you want to attract to you, okay? So it's saying you've got to focus on possibilities rather than limits and obstacles. And you've got to rethink how you've been thinking, and that will multiply your performance and potential. So the only thing you have to change is your mindset, is your thinking, because that's what's putting all the energy out into the world. You can put on your best face, you can have all the flyers for your business, you can do all the best marketing strategies the world can give you. But if you're not putting good energy out with those Facebook ads or webinars or anything that you're doing, it's not gonna pick up. The person receiving it, okay, the person that you want to do business with, it's energy exchange. And when they see an ad, when they see a video, when they see a Facebook Live, they're picking up your energy, okay? And if your energy's not good, then they're not going to give you good energy back, which means business doesn't do as well. I see this all the time in companies. People say to me, I can't get the staff. And I go, well, that's because you keep saying you can't get the staff. And every time you put out for new staff and we hold interviews, you're already going into that with a mindset of, well, sure, they'll probably be like the last ones, or they'll probably not do what I want them to do, or whatever. And those perceptions that you go into are only going to attract people that live up to what you think. You will always attract that which you believe and what you think. Thoughts create things. There is no denying that. You try and prove me wrong, okay? Because if you're ever trying to sit here and go, I don't know if I believe all this stuff, I'm never going to try and convince you, because I don't need to do that. But if you really are not sure, try and convince me that it's not real, because you'll have a hard time of doing that, okay? So if you don't understand it, that's okay. I didn't understand it. It made no sense to me. And I'm not the brightest tool in the box by any stretch of the imagination. But when I allowed myself to be open to thinking about it, that's when everything changed. So the key here is what he's saying is you got to focus on possibilities and you got to rethink how you've been thinking. Especially now, there's never been a more important time. We are living in a part of the history that will be talked about, with my kids, their kids, all the rest. I mean, we're living in an absolute moment in history. The world will never be the same, okay? And you're either going to look at that with eyes of opportunity and excitement, or you're going to look at it with the same eyes you looked at it a couple of months ago, and you might potentially be focusing on what's not going right for you. Now, I'm not denying things mightn't be difficult for you, but are you going to feed that more negative energy and grow it? Or are you going to decide, no, I'm going to rethink, I'm going to change my model, I'm going to build a new model to make the old model obsolete. Times have changed, the old methods won't work. We read about that, and I think in about chapter 4. You've got to think of new ideas. Now, you're never going to think of new ideas with the same mindset that was creating your old results. That just makes sense, all right? I think you know that. So the only thing you got to focus on is changing your mindset. It says seeking the quantum leap means violating the boundaries of the probable. It means achieving well beyond the obvious. So don't limit your desires to what you think you can have. Start going after what you want. This means you must give yourself the permission to dream, to risk, and you must set yourself free. So that is so clearly saying that you're going to have to start to surrender to this. You're going to have to start to give yourself the permission. And that's a really huge topic in itself. I could talk all night about that, because what we find is a lot of people don't give themselves the permission to think big. And there could be many reasons to that. It could be self-confidence. I don't deserve more than what I have. You maybe don't believe in yourself that you could do it. Maybe you're afraid of success. That's really, really common. I work with many, many high-level CEOs and directors of companies that are afraid of success. That is a thing, okay? And you might be in that position. But it's saying here, you must give yourself permission to dream, to risk, and set yourself free. Now, when I read that last part, set yourself free, it totally resonates with me, because if you'd have known me a way back, I am such a different person, okay? And my goodness, I used to be grumpy. I used to take me 4 coffees in before you'd get a conversation out of me. You know, you lived for the weekend, but nothing really exciting went on. And life was good. I had a good job, but I wasn't really living. I was just kind of existing, just kind of doing the normal mundane life, you know, not really wanting Monday to come, loving the weekend. Sunday evening, you start to kind of go, oh, right, okay. And there'll be some days, as much as I love my job, I just knew there was more. Now, it's that feeling of knowing there's more for you, and you don't know what it is. It is a pain in the ass, and it confuses the hell out of you. And you go through loads of different ways of thinking. You know, why am I thinking like that? Well, I don't need that. And then you start to make excuses of why you don't need things in your life, why you should be settled, why you should be content, why you should be grateful with what you got. And you're totally right. You should be grateful, but you should realize that you're infinite and there's way more that you can do. And everyone has that feeling. Everyone wants more. Whether they're willing to admit it or not is a different story. But what you've got to realize is there is a part of you that wants to come out. There is a part of you that wants to live life differently, experience more freedom, have more time. And what he's saying here is you've got to have a desire. This is why when I work with clients, the first thing we look at is, what is your goal? What is it you really want? What is it you really want? Like, just ask yourself that right now. What is it that you really want for your life? Now, you might think, well, I want to be happy. But what does that mean? What would make you happy? What would quantify that for you? And when you start to think like that, you start to realize what you want. Now, some of you might still, the first thing you comes up with is, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. And you start to talk about the negative. Catch yourself doing that, because you're giving energy to what you don't want, which means you're getting more of it, okay? But what if you're feeling stuck going, I don't know what I want, but I know I don't want this, look at what you don't want and then reverse it, okay? If you don't want chaos in your life, you want clarity, you want calmness. Now, what's going to create that is a goal, because if you don't have a goal in life and you're not striving towards something, you're drifting, you're coasting. When you know you need to make a certain amount of money, the foot goes down, you go, you work, you get the money, and then you coast again. I did that for years. So have a purpose, have a desire, flip it. If you want to not have to always, dip into your overdraft or savings, then what do you want? You want more money. How much more money do you want? Start looking at the things you want to do. Where do you want to go on holidays? How many times do you want to go on holidays? Is there family you want to help? Is there charities you want to help? Is there a business you want to start? And then start thinking, okay, well, if I had that, where would I eat out? What type of clothes would I wear? What car do I drive? And this isn't about materialistic things. The beautiful part of this is when you set yourself free, when you allow that to expand and allow, take the can off the worms, and allow yourself to think in possibilities and do what seems to be ridiculous to do and no common sense. You're going to feel alive. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel like you've just got energy for days. Ever be walking down the street, or maybe you're in the park and you just feel like you're on cloud nine? You could skip and you say hello to the wee old lady with a dog, and you're, looking out at other kids playing, and you're just like, life is wonderful. In those moments, you are in alignment, okay? You're in flow state. You're totally aligned. That means your attitude is in alignment with your spirit, okay? And for some people, those moments are momentary. For some people, they last for periods and then stop for periods and go for periods. Some people have it all the time. The point is, you can have it all the time if you want to have it all the time. Now, since you know what that feels like, and it's pretty awesome, and, you get sales in that you didn't expect, and, maybe you get a day off, it's just awesome, it's the best day ever. That's how life could be every day. Imagine that. What would that be worth to you? What would that do for your relationship? What would that do for your health? You know, these are the really important questions you got to ask yourself, because if you ask yourself, you'll get really good answers. And when you start to look at the answers, you're going to start to fall in love with that vision of your life. And that's what's going to inspire you, not motivate you. Motivation is short-lived. Inspiration is from in spirit, the essence of you. You are not just your body. Your body is your physical instrument of your mind. But you have a soul, you have a spirit, whatever you want to call it. And that is always wanting to grow and expand. So don't ever worry if you feel, I shouldn't want more. You totally should. Like 100%. Be proud of it. Okay? But sometimes what you got to get in first is remove some of the blockages. Remove some of the limiting beliefs that are not allowing you to tap into that. That's what we do. We help people remove those blockages so that they can be this full expression. And that then all translates and correlates into personal goals, relationships, health, business. I mean, my goodness, what this will do for your business. You can work less and earn more. I can now earn in a day what it used to take me a year to earn. But I'm doing less. So think about that. What can that mean to you? The last part here I want to read, I'm not going to go through all of it. It says a 10 or 20% improvement isn't the idea at all. That would represent only incremental gains. That might be an impressive performance in some situations, like if there were unusual obstacles or very difficult set of circumstances. But while such a goal might be challenging, it would not represent a quantum leap. So you don't want to go incremental steps. Quantum leaps are by definition rather astounding, certainly unconventional. Don't get the idea that absolutely everything you think of is possible. It isn't. You got to want it. I remember a guy in an event said to me, and he was probably about 70, he says, right, so you're telling me that I can basically go and run the 100 meters in the Olympics. And I'm going, well, no. And do you want to do it? And he's like, well, no, I don't want to do it. And I went, well, that's why you're not going to do it. You got to have a burning desire. That's where most people feel in goals. And he ends off by saying, true are the limits, but you don't need to worry about them. Your real limits are far beyond your artificial mental boundaries. The real limits won't box you in, but the false ones you're carrying around in your mind are a self-imposed prison. So are you living in a mental prison? That could look like anxiety. That could look like depression. That could look like working really hard and getting the same results. That could look like self-sabotaging. That could look like habitual eating. That could look like negative self-talk. It could come up and express itself in any way. But the point is, are you thinking about your goal? Are you focused on what you want, not focused on what you need or not focused on what you don't have? That's where you're going to start to really change the thinking to make the quantum leap. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight's session. I have. I'm going to have to shoot, but it has been awesome being here with you today. If any of this has resonated with you, if you think, oh my goodness, Kim, you're talking right to me, why not book in for a complimentary discovery call with our team? I've left the link in the comments box. You will get to chat to Lindsay, who's watching live, or Emma, who's also watching live. Two amazing women who've went through this exact process, got their financial goals, and are now passing it on and helping other people. So reach out. It's free. Won't cost you a thing, but might cost you everything if you don't do it. And we will give you the clarity. We'll give you the guidance, and we'll give you signposts. Maybe it's not us that you need. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's nothing. Who knows? But book a call. Let's chat. And I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. live here on the page. I'm going to be interviewing one of our clients who smashed records right, hand, left, and center this month. She's only brand new into thinking into results this month, and she had an increase of 124% in her business. So she's going to come on and share her short journey so far and show you just what it's like from the inside. So have a great evening, guys. Wear sun cream, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.